Okay, so first thing we talked about was connection, especially in any time where your arm is going over your head, whether it be a free spin or an underarm turn or a tuck or an invitation pattern where he just kind of lifts his arm and says, here you go. Your arm was often getting a bit tight or a bit high and or both. So as much as possible, shout out to Olivia for all these points. You want to keep your elbow low and in as much as possible. My general rule is generally don't want the elbow going above in line with your nose. As much as it stays like at or chin level below, the better. So that way, as you're doing an underarm turn, elbow's not going to come out here and up because that's going to be pulling the arm further away from him and making the connection tight and uncomfortable for everyone. But keep it down here, keep it in, and it's just going to naturally flow over your head. If there's any time where, like we talked about, if he just gives you an invitation pattern and says, here you go, I don't know what to do, your turn. You can just flow through, and rather than bring the arm up here, again, just keep it low. By the way, on that invitation pattern we talked about, the footwork, it's very open to doing whatever you want to do. So you can strut your way through, you can go Susie Q your way through. But the basic idea of the footwork is just 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stepping back on the right foot on 4. And then 5 and 6. Again from this side. You're okay, he raises his arm. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so that's the arms. And invitation. That Susie Q footwork that you want to go over. If I start with my weight on my right foot, go from this angle, I'm starting toe, going in, heel, going out, crossing over and changing the weight onto that right foot, toe, heel out, cross over, and then usually at this point he's just gonna rock step me out, 1, 2, and then the rest of the pattern is just an underarm turn. If we do it again from this side, it's going to start like a push break. 1 and a 2. He's probably going to bring the hands up into this kind of position. Toes going in, heels going out, crossing over, toes going in, heels going out, and crossing over, rock step. And then the rest is just triples and underarm turn normally. If it's going to keep going, he's going to lead that. He can basically do it indefinitely until the guy gets bored of doing Susie Qs. So that's the timing. Goes until he says done. Rolling count. So we practiced dancing to the Teddy Swim song, which has a very strong rolling beat and it's very slow. So the main things to keep in mind as you're doing that is count the whole way through. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 5, hold, 6. Little things we ran into is naturally you're used to dancing a lot slower than that, so your body's going to want to rush through it. You're going to want to start tripling early, but just slow everything down. Just 1, 2, and 3, hold, 4, and 5, hold, 6. Really eats up that time. And then we worked on more bluesy hip action. So the idea is you want to make sure there's just like a slight hitch in your body. So just like if you're going to lift something heavy and you're lifting from your knees, not from your back, it's that same type of motion. Just as you start to go down, that first like ½ inch is right about where you want to live. And then you're going to dance a lot more down and into the hips. The exercise that we practice for this, so again, this isn't the motion itself per se, this is just kind of getting some more looseness into your hips. Was kind of stepping forward, first letting the foot touch the floor without changing your weight onto it, and then rolling up through the knee and then landing in the hip. Again, just like you're holding the carrier, holding the baby. This way, this way, this way, this way. And then it works the exact same way back. So I start by putting my toe out a little bit, settling into the hip, settling into the hip. And keys as we're doing this, it's not moving with your whole shoulder. Shoulder, head basically stays square. Your feet aren't swiveling around. It's just this hip action that's kind of rocking out each time. And then that was to Tracy Chapman. Give Me One Reason to Stay Here is the song we practiced that to. And finally, we worked on sailor shuffles. The main two things that we were practicing on that is one, just getting the footwork down. So if you're starting on your left foot, for example, you're going to hook behind with the right, step out, and then have that foot push you back to the center line. And hook behind, step out, push back to the center, hook out middle, hook out middle, hook out middle. And then what this motion is doing to your body, again, same idea with the sailors, you know, they're kind of getting that sway in their body as they're out at sea, then they get on land. That's where this all comes from, is your upper body, your head primarily, stays just like the top and middle of the pendulum, and then your shoulders and everything down swing off of that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's what we're done.